Greetings of the day. I am Dr. P. Saujanya, Associate Professor, Vignan Pharmacy College. I welcome you all to the lecture on classification of microorganisms. So, classification is nothing but arrangement of organisms in groups or taxa based on mutual similarity or evolutionary relatedness. Based on their mutual similarity and evolutionary relatedness, the organisms has been grouped into a single group, and that is known as classification. And taxonomy is the science of classifying organisms is known as taxonomy, and this provides universal names for organisms, and it provides a reference for identifying the organisms. And the phylogeny is the study of evolutionary history of organisms. It's known as phylogeny. Traditionally, the living organisms were placed into two groups by Carlos Linnaeus, plants and animals. So after the invention of microscope by Anton van Leeuwenhoek and the discovery of microorganisms, then the third kingdom was proposed. Haeckel realized that fungi, algae, protozoa, bacteria were unlike plants and animals, and he proposed the third kingdom, Protista, to incorporate all the organisms which doesn't fall under plants and animals. And after invention of electron microscope, and there found a membrane bound nucleus and membrane unbound nucleus cells. So the membrane bound nucleus cells are categorized under eukaryotes, and membrane bound nucleus cells are categorized under prokaryotes. And this two kingdom classification poses certain problems that it doesn't distinguish between eukaryotes and prokaryotes, and it incorporated both unicellular and multicellular organisms, and both photosynthetic like green algae and non-photosynthetic like fungi organisms are incorporated in the same category, and a large number of organisms did not fall into either of these categories. These are the problems present in two kingdom classification. Hence, there is a need of another classification. So, R.H. Whittaker classified five kingdom classification based on their mode of nutrition. They are kingdom Monera, that includes bacteria and cyanobacteria. Kingdom Protista includes protozoa and lower algae. And the kingdom Plantae, it includes plants and higher algae. And then fungi, it includes both unicellular yeast and multicellular molds. And then animalia includes animals. So five kingdom classification was proposed by R.H. Whittaker, that includes kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, animalia. So these has been categorized based on the cell structure, mode of nutrition, reproduction, and phylogenetic relationship. So kingdom Monera, it includes all prokaryotic organisms like bacteria and cyanobacteria, such as blue-green algae. And the organisms could be unicellular or multicellular. And it incorporated the cells which have a rigid cell wall. And then the mode of nutrition here is absorption mode of nutrition, and the nutrition may be of either heterotrophic, photoautotropic, or chemotropic. Heterotrophic is heterotrophs are they do not depend on carbon dioxide as a source of carbon. So they cannot use carbon dioxide as a source of carbon. Photoautotrophs, they depend on the light source for photosynthesis, and autotrophs, they use carbon dioxide as a source of carbon. And chemotrophs are, they depend on organic compounds for their energy, and electron donor sources. And here in kingdom Monera, the bacteria are grouped under four categories. The spherical bacteria includes coccus, and the rod-shaped bacillus, and comma-shaped bacteria Vibrio, and the spiral-shaped bacteria Spirillum. These are the four groups of organisms that are incorporated in the kingdom Monera based on their cell structure. Next kingdom, kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista includes eukaryotic organisms like protozoa, algae, lower fungi, amoeba, etc. And this includes unicellular cells that having heterotropic phototropic mode of nutrition by ingestive or absorptive type of food uptake. So it includes heterotropic or phototropic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophs are they cannot use carbon dioxide as a source of carbon. Phototrophs are they depend on light source for energy. And the mode of nutrition includes in Protista kingdom is ingestive mode or absorptive mode of nutrition. And some of these Protista containing categorized organisms have flagella or cilia, and they will reproduce by asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction by cell fusion process and zygote formation. Next group of organisms are fungi. Fungi are multicellular higher fungi having eukaryotic cells. They are categorized into eukaryotic cells, and these fungi they grow well in warm and humid places, and they possess multinucleate mycelium and heterotropic type of organisms. So the fungi, as it is in multicellular, it also possesses multinucleate mycelium cells, and here the mycelium has been formed by the hyphae producing fungal cells. So the fungi includes unicellular yeast. This is unicellular yeast, and this is multicellular molds. So the unicellular, except unicellular yeast, all multicellular molds will form hyphae, and together this hyphae it form a network known as mycelium. Mycelial growth is observed in case of molds. And the cell wall of fungi are composed of chitin and polysaccharides. Usually the prokaryotic cells possess cell wall possess peptidoglycan in their cell wall, but here the fungi possess chitin in their cell wall. And these fungi are saprophytes or parasites. Saprophytes are they grow on dead decaying matter, and parasites they depend on others for their food, and they will reproduce by vegetative reproduction like fragmentation, budding, fission, and asexual reproduction by the formation of conidia, sporangiospores, zoospores, and the sexual reproduction by oospores, ascospores, and basidiospores. By the formation of all these, they will reproduce sexually. And the next kingdom is kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae includes eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms. It's nothing but plants, and they are partially heterotrophic. Partially heterotrophic. Most of them are autotroph. They depend on carbon dioxide as a source of carbon, but partially some plants they are heterotrophic, and they possess chloroplast. They possess chloroplast for the photosynthesis process. And the cell wall of these plants possess is made up of cellulose enzyme. Okay. So the plantae include algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. All together are categorized under the kingdom Plantae. Next, Animalia. Animalia are heterotrophic eukaryotic organisms that are multicellular. So they are heterotrophic eukaryotic organisms, and they are multicellular. And these animal cells lack the cell wall, and the mode of nutrition is ingestion. Mode of nutrition of animals is ingestion mode of nutrition, and they follow a definite growth pattern and grow into adults that have a definite shape and size. So they will develop into uh, adult cells or adult organisms with a definite shape and size. And usually they are capable of locomotion. All animals capable of locomotion. Viruses. So here the viruses has not been categorized in any of the classification because they are not truly living, because they doesn't have a specific cell structure. They are non-cellular organisms. They are non-cellular organisms, and they only possess an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell, and they possess only genetic material, and once they infect to the host cell, so it injects its genetic material and then it becomes the living. Till that time it is represented as non-living cell. Next, this five kingdom classification, kingdom protista, plantae and fungi, are ill defined in the five kingdom classification, and the lack of distinction between archaebacteria and bacteria. So, because of these problems, then the sixth kingdom classification was proposed, and this sixth kingdom classification divides kingdom Monera into eubacteria and archaebacteria. So the remaining kingdoms are same. So here kingdom Monera has been categorized into eubacteria and archaebacteria, and apart from this, kingdom Protista includes protozoa, plantae, plants, fungi, and animalia, animals has been incorporated. Only in the kingdom sixth kingdom classification, kingdom Monera is differentiated into eubacteria and archaebacteria. And later, Cavalier Smith, he proposed two empire, eight kingdom classification. This is two empire, eight kingdom classification. So based on the cell structure, genetic organization, and this classification has been proposed. And this cell structure and genetic organization are very important in determining the phylogeny. And he used ultrastructural characteristics as well as rRNA sequence. So based on the rRNA sequence of each category, he proposed two empire and eight kingdom classification. The two empires are bacteria, eukaryota. Bacteria and eukaryota. These are the two empires. And the empire bacteria includes two kingdoms, eubacteria and archaebacteria. Whereas empire eukaryota includes other six kingdoms. They are archaezoa, protozoa, kingdom plantae, chromista, fungi, animalia. Archaezoa, protozoa, plantae, chromista, fungi, animalia. Archaezoa are primitive eukaryotic cellular organisms such as Giardia, and they have 70S ribosomes, and they lack Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, chloroplast. So this archaezoa, it lacks mitochondria, chloroplast, and Golgi apparatus, and it possesses only 70S ribosomes. And the kingdom Chromista includes brown algae, and the kingdom Plantae includes plants, fungi includes yeast and mold fungi, and then Animalia includes animals, and the kingdom Protozoa includes the protozoa. So this is Cavalier and Smith classification. He classified living organisms into two empires and eight kingdoms. So this is the universally accepted classification. Carl Lewis has been proposed this, that is universal phylogenetic tree. Universal phylogenetic tree. And this has been proposed by Carl Lewis based on the rRNA sequence comparisons in between the in between the bacteria, archaebacteria, eukarya. The rRNA sequence has been compared and it has been developed as universal phylogenetic tree. So this universal phylogenetic tree So the universal phylogenetic tree contains three kingdoms: bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. So the bacteria includes gram positives and gram negatives. The gram positive cells has been categorized in gram positives. And then green filamentous bacteria, spirochetes, proteobacteria, cyanobacteria, planktomyces, bacterioids, cytophaga, thermotoga, aquifex. So these are all gram negative cells. So broadly, this bacteria includes cyanobacteria, gram positive and gram negative cells. So the cyanobacteria and gram positive, the rest of the kingdoms are gram negative categorized. Okay, archaebacteria. Archaebacteria has been differentiated from bacteria in such a way that they grow in high temperature and in freezing conditions, in high salt concentration, etc. In extreme conditions, they will grow archaebacteria, and they are Pyrodicticum, Thermoproteus, Thermococcus celer, Methanococcus, Methanobacterium, methane producing bacterium, Methanobacterium, Methanosarcinae, halophiles. Halophiles grow at high salt concentration. So, based on their survival and based on the physical conditions required for the growth, these archaebacteria has been categorized. And next, eukarya. Eukarya includes entamoeba, myxomycota, animalia, fungi, plantae, ciliates, flagellates, trichomonads, microsporidia, and diplomonads. All these are categorized under kingdom Eukarya. So the three kingdoms in universal phylogenetic tree are bacteria, archaebacteria, and Eukarya. So these bacteria and archaebacteria have been recognized as the two major groups of prokaryotic organisms, and the rest of organisms comes under eukarya, that is eukaryotic cells. So this is universal phylogenetic tree and universally accepted classification for classification of living organisms. Thank you.